Before John Dillinger left an escape-proof jail, he passed around a hat in order to take a collection of almost $400 in today's money. Armed with 2 machine guns taken from 33 officers locked in cells and a stolen car from a female sheriff, he was able to escape a county jail guarded by more than 50 officers. How did a prisoner become so completely in control that his captors helped pay for his getaway? On a beautifully warm, sunny January day in 1934, John Dillinger was captured with members of his gang. After much debate, a local judge decided that he was to be transferred to the custody of the state of Indiana and to be brought to Crown Point. Here, he was awaiting trial for the killing of East Chicago police officer William Patrick O'Malley. Dillinger was almost certain to be sent to the electric chair for this offense. Local authorities publicly described the Lake County Jail as escape-proof. His confinement quickly became a media spectacle. Dillinger posed for photographs and newsreel footage with Sheriff Lillian Hawley, prosecutor Robert Istel, deputies, reporters, and other officials. The famous image of Dillinger resting his arm on Istel made the authorities appear far too comfortable with their prisoner, especially after he escaped. Dillinger wants to escape before he can be tried and possibly sentenced to death. He had already spent most of his adult life incarcerated, approximately 9 years in Indiana prisons. He had only been free for several months before being captured again. Crown Point threatened to return him permanently to the system he had only recently escaped. He wanted to rejoin his surviving criminal associates and recover control over his own movements. Dillinger wanted to avoid being a celebrated prisoner who finally ended up in the electric chair. He was able to turn the authorities' confidence against them. The Lake County Jail in Crown Point, Indiana was heavily guarded by over 50 officials. At this time, this was a small jail, but the extra security was due to John Dillinger's reputation of escaping. Dillinger wasn't able to simply overpower everyone from behind locked bars. He had to acquire something that looked enough like a gun to make the first person follow orders. According to a private investigator, Art Leary, Louis Burkett, Dillinger's defense attorney, smuggled a wooden gun into the jail and a hollowed-out Bible. This was Plan B. Plan A was to blow up the county jail with dynamite, but that proved to be too dangerous. Burkett didn't act alone. It is reported that he bribed high-ranking Lake County officials with $3,500 in cash that was exchanged at a saloon down the street from the jailhouse to ensure the guards looked the other way. The gun only solved the first barrier. Dillinger had to get the jail employee close enough to threaten. Once he did that, he had to obtain the keys, prevent an alarm, and capture additional guards before they understood what was happening. He had to secure real weapons and find transportation. During the morning routine on March 3rd, Dillinger confronts jail trustee Sam Cahoon with a wooden pistol and obtains access to the keys. From there, jail personnel are reportedly brought into a secured area individually and imprisoned. Dillinger eventually gains access to real firearms, including 2 .45 caliber Colt Model 1921 Thompson submachine guns belonging to the jail. In a strange turn of events, the prisoner has now become the jailer. Dillinger chose a fellow prisoner named Herbert Youngblood to leave with him. Once the guards and staff are under control, Dillinger reportedly puts on a coat and hat belonging to someone inside the jail and announces that he needs money for his escape. The captives contribute approximately $15 to the cause, an amount of $400 in today's money. The collection wasn't really about the money, it was Dillinger demonstrating that roles inside the jail had been completely reversed. Some accounts say that Dillinger struck or tapped the wooden weapon against the cell bars, revealing that the original gun was a fake only after he had obtained real firearms and secured the jail. By the time his captors learned the first weapon was wood, the distraction no longer mattered. Dillinger and Youngblood made their way to the jail garage and took Sheriff Lillian Hawley's V8 Ford. They left with hostages who would later be released unharmed. The result of the escape is an immediate victory for Dillinger, who escapes the supposedly escape-proof jail. Not a single shot was fired to initiate the escape. He was able to lock the staff behind bars and leave with real weapons while taking money from his captors, then leaving with a stolen car that helped him get to Illinois. But the biggest issue that reverses his victory is the stolen car. By driving a stolen automobile across the Indiana-Illinois state line, Dillinger violated the National Motor Vehicle Theft Act. That gave the Federal Department of Justice Bureau of Investigation authority to finally pursue him. Finally, he broke a crime that allowed J. Edgar Hoover a reason to enter the story. He might have escaped local custody, but the method he chose turned a state fugitive into a federal target. The escape also permanently damaged the reputations of Crown Point officials. Estill's friendly photograph of Dillinger became especially damaging, while Sheriff Hawley endured criticism that often was explicitly sexist. The humiliation did not come merely from losing a prisoner. It came from appearing publicly comfortable with him before he made fools out of the jail staff. The wooden gun may have been false, but everything it produced was real. The locked cells, the missing sheriff's car, and the federal charge, along with the national manhunt. Dillinger had entered Crown Point as its prisoner, but he left as a man who had humiliated an entire country. The Bureau of Investigation now had what they needed to legally pursue him. Before the escape, the image appeared to show officials displaying their famous captive. After the escape, the same photo and newsreel video looked like Dillinger had already taken possession of the room. The arm around the prosecutor's shoulder becomes more ominous in retrospect. Thank you for taking the time to watch and like this video and subscribing to the channel. If you would like to support the Eclectic Historical Society, you can join our Patreon and visit our website, eclectichistoricalsociety.com, to purchase our merch. With that being said, this is the Eclectic Historical Society, and remember that history is lost if it's not repeated.